Chosen one. Listen closely. Heaven has pressed pause on everything else just to reach you in this moment. The silence you've been walking through is not abandonment, it is divine suspense. You are standing at the edge of something God Himself has been preparing behind the scenes. The delays, the denials, the disappointments, they were never meant to destroy you. They were divine recalibrations, pulling you out of human timing and into heaven's alignment. You thought you were being forgotten, but you were being fortified. You thought the silence meant rejection, but it was preparation. The breaking you experienced was heaven's craftsmanship, carving you into a vessel that can hold the weight of glory that's now being poured into your life. Chosen one. This is not a coincidence that you are hearing this right now. Heaven has declared that your season of struggle is closing. The same God who allowed the valley is now commanding the mountain to bow before your feet. Every test was an investment. Every lonely night was a seed. Every tear was recorded in heaven's treasury. You were being prepared for funding, not just financially, but spiritually, where every need meets divine supply. God says, you have overcome. You didn't break, even when life gave you reasons to. You kept believing when logic said to quit, and because of that, the atmosphere around you is shifting. The resources that once ran dry are being refilled from above. No longer will you strive, beg, or chase what belongs to you. Heaven is now your sponsor. The days of self-reliance end here. This is the divine exchange, your exhaustion for His empowerment, your scarcity for His supply. Every prayer you whispered in the dark has reached heaven's boardroom. God is not sending you leftovers. He is releasing inheritance. You are crossing from effort to ease, from laboring alone to walking under supernatural partnership. Beloved, heaven has seen your endurance and decided it's payout time. The drought you endured was a test of trust. Now, the same land that yielded nothing will overflow. Expect acceleration in unexpected places, emails, calls, doors you forgot about. This is the manifestation of divine recompense unfolding in real time. Lift your head, chosen one. The weight is lifting, the tide is turning, and the glory is descending. You are being funded not only with wealth, but with wisdom, favor, and divine timing. Heaven's supply chain is moving, and your name has been stamped on every parcel of promise. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 33, "But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." Your new season is not about chasing provision, it's about chasing purpose. The money, the connections, the opportunities, they are byproducts of divine order. When you align, you attract. When you obey, heaven funds the mission. Look at how far you've come. Every battle that tried to break you became proof that you're chosen. The fact that you're still standing means the promise still stands. You are not at the end. You are at the birthing point of supernatural supply. The old way of surviving is gone. From now on, your steps are financed by favor. Do you understand what that means? The same God who fed Elijah through ravens, who sent manna from heaven, who brought water from a rock. He is now your provider. You are stepping into a realm where doors open without your effort, where provision locates you before you even pray for it. You are not just surviving, you are becoming the evidence of God's faithfulness on earth. You will look around and realize that what once caused you anxiety is now flowing to you easily, naturally, supernaturally. That is the sign that the wilderness is over. Beloved, heaven has written your name in its ledger of favor. This is not luck, it is lineage. You belong to the divine bloodline of overcomers. God is not just watching you, He is sponsoring you. Every idea, every dream, Every seed you've sown in tears is now returning multiplied. But listen carefully. Don't delay your response. This message comes with a spiritual transaction. Heaven moves where faith moves. Lift your heart in gratitude and whisper, "I receive this." When you do, something shifts in the unseen. If this word speaks to your spirit, show heaven your agreement. Like this message so others can find it. Share it with another chosen one who needs confirmation. And subscribe so you never miss what heaven releases next. Then comment the number 777 below your prophetic act of completion and divine alignment. Let it echo through the spiritual realm you have overcome, and God is funding your life from now on. Chosen one, you have spent years feeling hidden, unnoticed, and overlooked. You wondered if God had forgotten your name while others seemed to rise easily. But heaven saw everything, every quiet act of obedience, every unseen labor, every silent surrender. It was all written in the invisible scrolls of eternity. Your hidden years were never wasted. They were sacred. They were the years heaven built the foundation for what would come later. You see, visibility is not the same as value. God often hides his greatest treasures until the appointed time. Diamonds are not found shining on the surface. They are formed under pressure, buried deep in darkness, refined by time. That is what you have been, a divine investment under pressure. Every season of silence was training your spirit to listen. Every delay was sculpting your discernment. There were days you felt left behind, but you were being set apart. There were doors that never opened, not because you weren't qualified, but because your anointing was too great for that small room. Heaven didn't withhold it, protected. While others were being celebrated, you were being consecrated. While others were being noticed, you were being nurtured in secrecy. The soil of obscurity grew your strength. Beloved, there is something holy about being hidden. You learned to depend not on applause, but on presence. You discovered how to stand when no one was cheering, how to pray when no one was watching. Those moments became the proof of your calling. God trusted you with isolation because he knew what he placed inside you could not be rushed. And now, as the winds of change blow, the hidden ones are being summoned. Those who were ignored are being elevated. Those who were dismissed are being recognized. The ones who learned to worship in the wilderness are about to lead nations into promise. You are not being delayed, you are being designed. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 27, verse 14. Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart, and wait for the Lord. Every second of waiting was an act of worship. Every unanswered prayer was not a denial, but a divine pause. The waiting season wasn't punishment, it was preparation. God was building endurance in your spirit, teaching you to trust his silence as much as his speech. The hidden season stripped you of dependence on people so that when the spotlight comes, you'll stand unshaken, anchored in identity, not in approval. Chosen one. Heaven always works in secret before it reveals in public. Look at Joseph, forgotten in prison, yet favored in purpose. Look at Moses, hidden in the desert, yet called to deliver a nation. Look at David, anointed in obscurity before being crowned in majesty. You are walking the same divine pattern. What God births in darkness will shine brightest in daylight. There is no wasted season in your story. Every moment was divine arithmetic, multiplying wisdom, subtracting pride, and adding endurance. You learned what money couldn't teach. You gained what comfort could never give. While others were chasing validation, you were being transformed into a vessel that could carry glory. This is the beauty of divine timing when God finally reveals you. No one will be able to deny that it was him. The fingerprints of heaven will be all over your life. Opportunities will align so perfectly that you will know it was never coincidence, it was covenant. You will understand why the doors once closed, why the people once left, and why you had to walk alone. In the hidden place, you learned intimacy over influence, character over charisma, obedience over outcome. And now that your season of unveiling approaches, God is not just elevating you, He is entrusting you. You are not being rewarded, you are being released. Beloved, remember this. A seed buried in darkness doesn't die, it germinates. You were never forgotten. Heaven was nurturing you beneath the soil. The roots had to grow deep before the fruit could appear. The deeper the roots, the greater the reach. That is why your journey took time. God was ensuring that when your fruit appears, it lasts. You will begin to see signs, small confirmations first. Unexpected favor. Random mentions of your name in places you've never entered. Emails, calls, divine alignments. You won't need to strive, your preparation will call you forth. The same grace that kept you hidden will now reveal you. But guard your spirit as you rise. Do not forget the lessons the wilderness taught you. The humility you cultivated there must remain. God's funding is not just financial, it's moral, emotional, and spiritual. He funds integrity with influence, humility with authority, obedience with overflow. Chosen one, every unseen hour of obedience is about to echo in eternity. The rewards of the hidden years will manifest openly. You'll soon realize why you had to walk through silence before hearing the sound of abundance. Heaven's timing never fails, it only fulfills. Chosen one. Heaven has not only seen your faithfulness, it has kept record. You may have thought that no one noticed, but there is a divine ledger with your name written on it. Every time you gave without being thanked, every time you prayed when you were weary, every time you forgave when it hurt, heaven marked it down. None of it disappeared into nothingness. God has a way of remembering what the world forgets. Your story is not measured by what people applaud, but by what heaven accounts. You have been depositing faith into a spiritual account, and now the balance has matured. Heaven is not sentimental, it is systematic. It operates by spiritual laws, and one of those laws is divine recompense. What you have given, you will receive back in multiplied form, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You see, the earthly system rewards visibility, but the kingdom rewards obedience. You are not being blessed because you performed, you are being funded because you persevered. When others stopped, you stayed. When others grew bitter, you chose to believe. That is why heaven's calculation is shifting in your favor right now. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Beloved, this verse is not theory, it is transaction. Every act of goodness becomes a seed that cannot die. Even when buried under disappointment, it still grows. And the season of harvest is here. You will see how God turns invisible investments into visible miracles. The help you once gave others will circle back in ways you could never imagine. There were moments you wanted to quit. You looked at the lack around you and thought, maybe I misheard God, but you didn't. What you heard was heaven's blueprint, and it required time to unfold. Faith is the currency of heaven, and you have spent it well. You never stopped believing even with empty hands. You kept a full heart. That faith has now matured into favor. This is how divine funding begins, not with money, but with mercy. God funds what He can trust. He tests before He transfers. You've been tested in scarcity so you can be trusted with abundance. And now that the testing season is complete, the transaction begins. Chosen one. There is an unseen economy moving on your behalf. Resources are being reassigned. People who owe you nothing will be moved to bless you. Favor will find you in unexpected places. You won't have to chase it. It will locate you because your name has been highlighted in heaven's records. Understand this: God never owes anyone, yet he delights in paying back those who have sown in tears. The law of divine remembrance is not random, it is prophetic justice. Every injustice you endured, every delay that drained you, every betrayal that broke you, they are now becoming ingredients of your restoration. You are stepping into a season where repayment will outshine the loss. Even now, the books are being balanced. Heaven's accountants are recalculating what you've endured, and the outcome is favor. You thought your sacrifice was forgotten, but heaven never deletes what faith deposits. Beloved, take a deep breath and release the regret of what seemed wasted. Nothing was lost. The friendships that faded, the plans that collapsed, the years that felt unproductive, all of them were divine investments waiting for interest. God is the ultimate multiplier. What was surrendered in faith will return multiplied in grace. Heaven has set in motion what no man can undo. Your name is being whispered in rooms you have never entered. Your faith is speaking louder than your qualifications. You are being recommended by the Spirit, endorsed by obedience, funded by favor. But this moment requires response. Heaven listens for agreement. When you speak, you authorize the release that's already in motion. Comment, "I receive it." Don't type it casually, type it as covenant. Let your fingers declare faith into the atmosphere. When you write those words, you're not merely commenting, you are echoing heaven's decree over your life. It's a spiritual acknowledgement that you accept the divine funding, the restoration, the multiplication that has already begun. Because when faith meets confession, miracles accelerate. God doesn't need your effort, he needs your agreement. And this small act of obedience, this public declaration, marks your alignment with what heaven has already decided. Beloved, you are standing in the fulfillment of unseen promises. You've carried faith long enough. Now you will carry fulfillment. The tables are turning, and the scales of justice are tilting in your favor. Every delay is now serving your destiny. Chosen one. When God becomes your sponsor, everything changes. You no longer depend on human systems or limited resources. You stop chasing approval and begin walking in assurance. This is the realm of divine sponsorship, where heaven itself becomes your backer, your investor, and your unfailing source. You have entered into a covenant of provision, a sacred partnership in which God funds your purpose. When you relied on your own strength, you always felt exhausted. Every breakthrough came with anxiety. Every small victory carried fear of loss. But now, the shift has happened. God is not simply blessing your hands, he is becoming your supply. He is not just giving you what you ask for, he is funding what he assigned you to do. This is not random favor, it is strategic provision. Chosen one. There is a clear difference between human sponsorship and divine sponsorship. Human help is conditional. It comes with expectations, limitations, and the risk of withdrawal. But when God sponsors you, the flow cannot be cut off. It moves through unseen channels, arriving from directions you could never predict. You may look at your bank account and see little, but heaven looks at your destiny and sees abundance waiting to be released. This kind of funding does not operate by logic, it operates by obedience. The currency is faith, and the receipt is surrender. You do not earn divine funding, you align with it. You do not chase after it, you walk in step with it. When you move according to God's instructions, provision automatically finds you. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. That stillness is not inactivity, it is trust. It means you no longer panic when things slow down, because you understand that divine timing is strategic. Sometimes God delays to show you that you were never meant to depend on human speed. He removes your crutches so you can learn to walk by faith. Beloved, heaven's sponsorship is not always comfortable. Sometimes it strips you of familiar support so that the only thing left to lean on is grace. But that's when you begin to see miracles you could never manufacture. You stop striving and start flowing. The peace that comes from divine sponsorship is not the absence of problems, it's the presence of certainty. You know that even if the plan shifts, the promise stands. When God sponsors a mission, He supplies it completely. Look at Noah. He didn't just give him the vision of the ark, He provided the wood, the dimensions, the favor for completion. Look at Joseph. He was funded with wisdom and influence, even inside a prison cell. Look at Ruth. Heaven financed her restoration through divine connection. The pattern never changes when the assignment is divine. The provision is guaranteed. You are entering that same rhythm. Your life is about to demonstrate the difference between self-effort and divine backing. Things that used to drain you will begin to flow easily. Conversations that once closed will now open. Where you were previously rejected, you will be requested. And it will not be because you changed. It will be because heaven shifted your sponsorship. Chosen one, this is why God allowed you to experience lack first. He had to teach you the language of dependence. You had to learn how to recognize His hand even when there was no visible help. Now, that discernment will protect you. You will not be easily deceived by counterfeit offers, because you'll know the texture of true provision. Understand this truth: divine funding is not just about finances. It's about heaven supplying what's needed to accomplish your purpose: wisdom, relationships, endurance, strength, revelation. Sometimes the provision looks like people. Sometimes it looks like ideas. Sometimes it looks like peace. Whatever the form, the source is always the same. You've reached the point where you must stop trying to prove your worth to others. You are already approved by the one who sent you. The moment you accepted your calling, heaven opened an account under your name. Every resource required for your assignment has already been allocated. You are not begging for provision. You are activating it through obedience. Beloved, the sponsorship of God doesn't fail. You may face moments of uncertainty, but those are only reminders to look upward. The same God who began this good work in you will sustain it. His investment never collapses. He doesn't start something He doesn't plan to finish. Chosen one, this is the moment where divine funding meets divine confirmation. The heavens are not just speaking, they are moving. You have reached the place where obedience turns into overflow. The seeds you planted in tears are now breaking through the soil, reaching toward the light. What you are about to witness is not coincidence, but covenant. You see, God never sponsors a vision He hasn't confirmed. When He funds you, He surrounds you with signs to prove His commitment. Miracles begin to form like clouds before the rain, quietly gathering before the downpour. These are not random blessings, they are heaven's receipts, evidence that your faith was not in vain. Think of a field after long drought. The ground cracks, the sky looks empty, and yet, beneath the surface, roots are stretching, waiting. Then one drop falls, then another, until suddenly the ground drinks deeply and life returns. That is you, chosen one. You have waited through drought seasons, but the rain has begun. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 8. And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. Beloved, abundance is not selfish, it is sacred. God funds you not so you can hoard, but so you can help. You are a channel, not a container. The flow doesn't stop with you, it flows through you. You are heaven's river. Provision passes through your hands to reach others. That's how the divine economy operates. Generosity sustains the flow. When you give, you are not losing. You are keeping the river alive. When you support what feeds your spirit, you become part of heaven's harvest. The same grace that sustains this message, that carries every word to your heart, is the grace that will multiply back into your own life. Imagine a lamp in a dark room. It glows, bringing warmth and direction. But the oil that keeps it burning doesn't come from itself, it comes from those who believe in the light. That is how this mission breathes. Every prayer, every share, every small act of giving keeps the flame alive, reaching more hearts like yours. If this message stirs something inside you, if you can feel the divine resonance in your spirit, then respond with gratitude. Click like not for numbers, but as an act of agreement. Share it, because someone else is still walking through the valley you've already crossed. Subscribe, not just to a channel, but to a community of light, so you never miss the words heaven releases in season. And if God moves your heart to donate, let it not be out of pressure, but out of partnership. This work is a vessel, a ship carrying light across digital ocean. Every drop of support, big or small, becomes wind in its sails. When you give, you're not fueling a project, you're fueling purpose. You're keeping the flame burning for countless souls who need this reminder God has not forgotten them. Beloved, you have no idea how far your act of faith travels. A single seed can grow into a forest. One share can bring someone back from despair. One act of giving can unlock a floodgate in your own life. This is the law of divine reciprocity. What leaves your hand never leaves your life. It circles back in multiplied form. When you align with heaven's flow, your generosity becomes prophecy. It declares, I trust the source more than the resource. And heaven always honors trust. Chosen one, remember, even the smallest act done with faith becomes eternal in value. The widow's 2 coins became a sermon that echoed for centuries. The boy's 5 loaves fed thousands. Your contribution, your voice, your time, your prayer carries that same eternal weight. Heaven doesn't look at the amount, it looks at the heart. The same God who multiplied oil in jars, who fed prophets in famine, who funded apostles through the kindness of believers, that same God uses you today. Every time you share, every time you give, you are building something invisible but powerful, a bridge of hope connecting heaven and earth. This isn't about digital algorithms, it's about divine alignment. The kingdom grows through collective obedience. Chosen one, you are not a spectator, you are a steward. The same light that transformed you will now move through you. Let your hands become instruments of grace. Let your actions preach louder than words. Support the message that supports your faith. Keep the lamp burning bright, because when you give, you echo the heartbeat of heaven, love in motion, faith made visible. You're not just funding content, you're funding change, miracles, transformation. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize this moment wasn't about donation, it was about destiny. You didn't just keep the light shining, you became the light yourself. Chosen one, you have crossed the threshold from scarcity into overflow. You can feel it, a quiet shift within, a lightness in your spirit, a knowing that something invisible has begun to move on your behalf. You no longer wake up with dread, you wake with expectancy. The same ground that once refused to produce is now responding to your faith. Heaven has changed the atmosphere around your life. The wilderness taught you to pray, but this new season will teach you to prosper. Not the shallow kind of prosperity that the world defines by possessions, but the deeper kind prosperity of peace, wholeness, stability, and purpose. This is what happens when God Himself becomes your source. The fruit of this new season is rest, not struggle. You see, scarcity was never about lack of money, it was about lack of vision. When you couldn't see the purpose behind the pressure, you felt poor. But now you see clearly. Every loss refined your focus, every delay refined your destiny. You've stopped asking, "Why me?" and started declaring, "For this purpose." We are reminded through the ancient wisdom of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 22. The blessing of the Lord brings wealth, and He adds no sorrow with it. That is the signature of heaven's provision, no sorrow attached. You won't have to compromise your peace to hold on to your blessing. You won't have to bend your values to keep what God gives. True blessing doesn't demand exhaustion, it multiplies rest. When God funds a life, it flows like a river, steady, quiet, unstoppable. Beloved, overflow is not a coincidence, it's the evidence of correct alignment. When your obedience matches your assignment, heaven releases what's been reserved. Think of a reservoir behind a dam. The water is there, held back, waiting for the appointed time. Then, when the gate opens, the rush cannot be contained. That is your life right now. The gates are opening and everything held up is about to pour out. The days of barely surviving are over. You will not scrape by to make ends meet. You will not live beneath your purpose, apologizing for your anointing. God didn't choose you to barely make it. He chose you to manifest abundance that glorifies Him. Your overflow will not be about luxury. It will be about legacy. Others will drink from the wells you dig. Chosen one, take a moment to look back. The places where you once cried will become the places where you'll testify. The same hands that trembled in fear will soon hold evidence of miracles. This isn't wishful thinking, it's prophetic fulfillment. The reason the pressure was so great is because the promise is even greater. You were never meant to stay in scarcity, and it was your classroom, not your home. God used it to build discipline, faith, and wisdom so that when overflow arrived, you'd know how to manage it. The prosperity of the wicked fades, but the prosperity of the righteous multiplies because it's rooted in purpose, not pride. Beloved, you are entering divine rhythm now, the rhythm of rest and release. You will no longer chase, you will attract. You will no longer beg, you will receive. You will no longer question if you're worthy. You will understand that your worth is what invited the overflow. And yet, heaven desires a response, a small but powerful act of agreement. Right here, right now, as a sign that you receive the shift from scarcity to overflow, comment the number 444 below. Let it be your covenant number, a prophetic echo that says, "I receive the full measure of what heaven has prepared." Don't type it passively, do it with intention. When you comment that number, it is more than text on a screen, it is a symbolic act of faith, a declaration that you no longer live beneath divine supply. It is a visible mark that you believe what has been spoken. Heaven moves where faith moves. When you act, you authorize. When you declare, you invite. That number is not random. It represents the four corners of completion: north, south, east, and west, meaning your provision will come from every direction. You won't have to chase, it will find you. Chosen one, the time of gathering has come. Angels are aligning people and opportunities to carry your overflow. Finances, favor, friendships, all are being redirected to your name. You are the intersection where divine intention meets manifestation. Walk boldly now. Speak abundance without shame. Expect ease without guilt. You have paid the price of perseverance. Now you will hold the reward of resilience. The dry riverbeds are filling again, and this time, they will not run dry. The overflow is not coming, it's already here. Step into it, breathe it, live it. From now on, your life will be a flowing testimony that heaven funds what it forms. Chosen one, there is always a moment before manifestation when the enemy makes one final attempt to break your confidence. It is his last desperate strike before he loses his grip. That is where you are now, the place between the promise spoken and the promise seen. The whisper of fear. The doubt that creeps into your chest. The voice that says, maybe it won't happen for you. Those are not signs of defeat. They are confirmation that breakthrough is near. You have come too far to turn back. You have endured too much to surrender now. The enemy has watched your growth, your persistence, your refusal to curse God even when you felt crushed. And because he could not stop your calling, he now tries to steal your confidence. He knows that faith is the engine of your destiny. If he can't block your blessings, he will try to drain your belief. But heaven would not allow you to hear this word unless it were meant to armor your heart. You must remember the battle intensifies right before the victory. The night grows darkest right before dawn. The pressure rises because what's being born is powerful. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Those words are not comfort only. They are command. Fear is the thief of divine progress, and courage is the door through which the promise enters. You have been anointed not only to receive, but to resist. Every time you choose peace over panic, you disarm the enemy's plan. Every time you speak life over yourself, you strike back with spiritual authority. You are walking through a corridor of testing right now, a hallway where echoes of old fears try to return. But keep walking. On the other side of that hallway is a door that only your persistence can open. The key is consistency. The weapon is worship. The armor is awareness that you are already funded, already favored, already sealed. Do not measure your current surroundings to determine your future outcome. Even when the tree appears barren, the roots are expanding. Growth always starts underground. You are not losing ground, you are gaining depth. And depth is what sustains destiny. Beloved, do not misinterpret resistance as rejection. The very fact that opposition exists is evidence that you are carrying something worth attacking. Light doesn't intimidate light, it disturbs darkness. Your presence disrupts the enemy's plans because your very existence is proof that God's promise is still alive. You are the proof that mercy still triumphs. This season may have tested your endurance, but it also revealed your essence. You have discovered what cannot be taken from you: your conviction, your faith, your resilience. The storm that was meant to bury you became the wind that lifted you. What was meant for evil turned into elevation. Now is the time to guard your thoughts. The battlefield is not around you, it is within you. The voice of doubt will always attempt to rewrite what God has already spoken. You must answer it with truth. Speak life daily. Declare that you are funded, favored, and fearless. Speak it until your atmosphere aligns. Even now, the enemy trembles because he knows he has lost access to your mind. You have shifted from reaction to revelation. You no longer ask, "Why me?" You now say, "Use me." That shift alone disarms every weapon formed against you, for the word has already declared that no weapon formed shall prosper. But it never said the weapons wouldn't form. You simply rise above them, shielded by purpose and guarded by grace. Chosen one, The pressure you feel is proof that power is present. The shaking you sense is heaven's rearrangement, not hell's attack. What is leaving your life was never meant to stay. What is arriving cannot be stopped. You are being refined for realms of influence you have not yet seen. Hold fast. The trembling in your spirit is not fear, it's the vibration of something new being born. You are transitioning from endurance to establishment. Soon, you will not only stand secure, you will stand as a testimony that faith is stronger than fear. So, rest your heart. The enemy has exhausted his final attempt. His roar is hollow, his threats are empty. You are covered, you are called, and you are continuing forward under divine sponsorship. The same God who carried you through darkness will now display you in light. Your story is shifting from survival to stability, from testing to testimony. The fear that once limited you will become the very stage where your faith shines brightest. For God has already written the next chapter, and it begins with your victory. Chosen one, you are now walking under a new spiritual economy, one not defined by numbers, status, or market conditions, but by faith and favor. This is the invisible currency of heaven. It cannot be devalued, manipulated, or taken by force. When you operate in this realm, your provision no longer depends on what is around you, but on what is within you. Faith is the seed, and favor is the rain. Together, they cultivate supernatural abundance. This is how God funds your life, not by chance, but by covenant. In this divine economy, what you believe determines what you receive. When you believe small, you live limited. But when you believe boldly, heaven expands to meet your expectation. There was a time when you measured your worth by what you possessed. But heaven measures worth by what you carry, not in your hands, but in your heart. You have learned that true wealth is not in material things, but in spiritual stability. You have something far rarer than riches: peace that cannot be bought, purpose that cannot be replaced, and favor that cannot be earned, as the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Beloved, that means what belongs to you cannot be delayed forever. Favor may feel slow, but it is never late. Every promise God made is like a check written from heaven's account. It carries his signature and cannot bounce. But it must be deposited in faith before it manifests in reality. Faith is your investment. Favor is your return. Every act of trust becomes a divine deposit. Every yes to God releases interest into your destiny. That's why you've noticed lately that doors open easier, connections form faster, solutions appear smoother. You are no longer operating under the old system of striving. You're functioning under the law of grace. Chosen one, in this spiritual economy, value multiplies when it's used for purpose. What you pour out returns greater. Think of the widow with the jar of oil. As long as she poured, it flowed. The moment she stopped, the oil stopped. That is the law of divine flow. The kingdom moves through faith in action. You may not even realize it, but heaven has been training you for this. Those seasons where you felt empty were never punishment, they were practice. You were learning the rhythm of faith, giving without fear, trusting without evidence, and moving without guarantees. That rhythm has become your strength. Now, you stand as one of heaven's investors. God has entrusted you with influence, ideas, and opportunities that carry eternal value. And as long as you stay faithful to the purpose, favor will keep financing the mission. You don't need to worry about how. Your responsibility is who you become, who you serve, who you bless. Provision always follows purpose. Beloved, look carefully at your journey. Notice how what once drained you now fuels you. The same challenges that threatened to break you have become the very foundation of your authority. You are living proof that heaven's economy cannot collapse. When others lost faith, you gained focus. When others retreated, you advanced. That resilience is your currency, priceless and powerful. The beauty of divine funding is that it is continuous. It doesn't stop after one miracle. It flows like an eternal current, sustaining what God begins. Every morning you wake is another deposit of grace. Every closed door that redirected you was an act of protection, not deprivation. You must begin to think like heaven, expansively, generously, eternally. Stop measuring your potential by what you see. The most valuable things in your life are invisible: your discernment, your peace, your faith, your anointing. Those are the assets that fund miracles. That is what makes you untouchable. Chosen one, you are no longer surviving under an economy of fear. You are thriving in a kingdom of faith. Everything you need is already accounted for, assigned, and aligned. You walk not in scarcity but in certainty. You operate not by striving but by resting in divine rhythm. From this moment forward, live like one who is already backed by heaven's resources. Speak with confidence, move with clarity, give with boldness. Because the more you move in faith, the more heaven multiplies your favor. You are no longer a consumer, you are a conduit. You are not waiting for supply, you are the supply. You carry the currency of heaven in your words, your presence, your obedience. This is the new economy of the chosen ones, limitless, fearless, and funded by grace. Chosen one, do you realize who you are? You are not just another believer trying to survive, you are heaven's investment, a divine project in progress. Every breath you take is funded by purpose. You have been chosen not only to receive blessings, but to become one. You carry the evidence that God's promises are still active in the earth. You are not walking toward favor. Favor is walking toward you. For so long you thought you were chasing the promise. But in truth, the promise has been chasing you. God never forgot your obedience, your secret sacrifices, or the nights when you held faith together with trembling hands. While you were questioning your value, heaven was counting your faith. You have been underestimated by people but overvalued by God. The ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 8, verse 30. Those he predestined, he also called. Those he called, he also justified. Those he justified, he also glorified. Beloved, you are heaven's proof that divine ROI, return on investment, is real. Every storm strengthened your stock. Every test increased your spiritual equity. Every disappointment deepened your capacity. You are no longer operating on borrowed grace. You are walking in compounded favor. The waiting didn't weaken you, it built your worth. You must understand this: God never funds what he will not finish. He is not an investor who abandons his projects midway. The same power that started your transformation will sustain it until the final stage. What others see as coincidence is actually completion. Heaven is closing old accounts and opening new ones under your name. Chosen one, you are no longer striving to prove your value. You are stepping into the stage of demonstration, where evidence replaces explanation. You will not have to defend yourself anymore. Results will do the talking. God's endorsement over your life will silence every critic. And as this truth takes root in your spirit, I invite you to act on it. Comment, "I am chosen." Don't just type it, declare it. That simple phrase is a reminder and a revelation. It's not about visibility, it's about identity. Every time you write those words, you reaffirm heaven's perspective over your life. You're not affirming ego, you're activating authority. When you comment, You are planting a public flag in the spiritual realm, declaring, "I know who I am now." You are saying to every lie, every insecurity, every whisper of unworthiness, "I will no longer shrink back." Those 3 words, "I am chosen," carry the weight of heaven's approval. Because being chosen doesn't mean life was easy. It means you were equipped to endure what others couldn't. You have carried burdens quietly, smiled through storms, and kept your spirit alive when everything else around you tried to bury it. And now, heaven is rewarding the resilience that no one else saw. Beloved, look at your journey. You have survived the fire, and yet you don't smell like smoke. You've walked through loss, yet your heart still beats with compassion. You've endured betrayal, yet you still believe in love. That is the mark of the chosen, those who carry grace even when broken. Every time you refused to quit, heaven recorded it. Every time you forgave instead of retaliating, the balance in your favor increased. You are heaven's investment with unstoppable yield. The enemy thought your pain would make you bitter, but it only made you bolder. You're not here to prove that you're strong. You're here to prove that grace is stronger. Now, everything that once worked against you will begin to work for you. The delays that frustrated you are turning into divine timing. The detours that confused you are leading directly to destiny. The people who dismissed you were simply clearing space for those who will celebrate you. You are not losing, you are being launched. Chosen one, heaven's investors, the angels, the witnesses of faith, the Spirit of the living God are watching the returns come in. You are about to enter the season of public evidence. The anointing you carried in silence will now attract what was promised in prophecy. You are the seed that refused to die, the vessel that refused to crack, the light that refused to dim. Remember this: nothing you lost was wasted. Nothing you suffered was senseless. Every tear watered the soil where new fruit now grows. Heaven's investment in you was never risky, because God saw the end from the beginning, and that end is victory. So hold your head high. Walk like one already validated by heaven. Live like the chosen vessel you are. Because from this moment, the world won't just hear that you're chosen, they'll see it. Chosen one. The moment has come for the divine transfer, the unseen handover of what heaven stored under your name. The balances are shifting, and the flow of blessing is changing direction. Resources are moving from those who misuse them to those who will multiply them. You are not stealing. You are inheriting. What was withheld will now be released, because God trusts your stewardship. You see, heaven is not short on resources. There is no inflation in eternity, no economic crisis in the kingdom. When God transfers wealth, He transfers assignment. It's not merely money changing hands, it's responsibility moving from one heart to another. Divine funding is never about luxury. It's about legacy. You have proven faithful in the famine, and now you are trusted with the harvest. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 22. The wealth of the sinner is laid up for the righteous. This ancient law is being activated in your life right now. It doesn't mean you must compete with the world. It means what belongs to the kingdom will find its rightful caretakers. You are being positioned not to possess, but to purpose. What you receive will not be fleeting fortune, it will be enduring influence. Chosen one. Think of a river. It does not hoard water, it flows, and in flowing it nourishes everything in its path. The moment it stops, it becomes stagnant. That is how divine transfer works. God flows blessings through people, not to them. The more open you remain, the more the current moves. Your heart must stay generous, your hands unclenched, your spirit humble. You have probably noticed it already, ideas forming suddenly, opportunities appearing effortlessly, people coming into your life who seem tailor-made for your purpose. These are all signs of the transfer beginning. Heaven's logistics are at work, redistributing wealth, favor, and connection to where they will produce the most fruit. Beloved, as this river begins to rise, remember what sustains it is gratitude and giving. Gratitude keeps the channel pure, giving keeps it flowing. Every time you sow into what feeds your spirit, you expand the capacity for heaven to pour more. When you support light, you become part of its glow. If this message speaks to your soul, if it has strengthened your spirit, respond with love. Click like not to feed numbers, but to keep the message alive in the algorithms of souls searching for hope. Share it, because somewhere a weary believer is praying for a word just like this one, and your single act of sharing could deliver it. Subscribe, not merely to a channel, but to a rhythm of divine reminders, a fellowship of those walking in the same light. And if your heart stirs to donate, do it as worship, not obligation. Think of this mission as a lighthouse built on digital waters. Each offering is another brick of light, another spark that reaches the lost ships wandering in the fog. When you give, you don't just sustain words, you sustain wonders. You become the unseen partner in heaven's communication chain. Imagine a single candle lighting another. The first flame doesn't lose its glow, it multiplies it. That is what your giving does. It multiplies light. It turns whispers of faith into waves of revival. Beloved, divine transfer is not limited to money. It is the passing of strength, wisdom, creativity, peace. As you pour out encouragement, heaven pours in innovation. As you release compassion, heaven releases clarity. Every gesture, every prayer, every act of support echoes in eternity. The old system of striving is collapsing, but the kingdom's current is rising. The ones who operated in pride will watch as the humble inherit what they misused. You have been refined to receive this responsibly. You will hold wealth without being held by it. You will manage resources without being mastered by them. Your generosity will become your protection. Your humility will become your promotion. And every time you give to sustain God's work, whether through prayer, time, or contribution, you strengthen the infrastructure of light on earth. So don't underestimate what your support does. It turns digital space into sacred space. It transforms content into calling. It builds bridges for grace to travel further than you can imagine. Chosen one. Heaven is moving assets, aligning hearts, and transferring influence even now. You are being written into the will of divine purpose. What leaves your hand never leaves your life, it returns in ways you can't measure. So, keep the river flowing. Let your gratitude move through action. Support what supports your soul. Participate in what God is using to transform others. The same spirit that inspires these words will multiply back into your world. You are not just a receiver, you are a redistributor of divine abundance. And every act of partnership keeps heaven's current alive through you. Chosen one, you are stepping into a dimension where doors open without reason. You will find yourself standing in rooms that your resume cannot explain and walking through gates that others were denied. It is not by manipulation or merit, but by mandate. When God chooses to endorse a life, protocols bend, timelines accelerate, and impossible becomes inevitable. You have entered that phase where effort gives way to effortless favor. The striving that once defined your days is now replaced by divine acceleration. Things that took years for others will unfold for you in moments because you have already passed the tests that money and influence cannot buy. Heaven is fast-tracking you not for fame, but for function. The world calls it luck. The kingdom calls it endorsement. God Himself is placing His seal upon you. You will notice that you no longer have to convince people to believe in you. They will sense something sacred about your presence, a fragrance of purpose that cannot be faked. Doors will open not because of your name, but because of the name you carry. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. That verse is not a comfort for the weary. It is a decree for the called. God's plan is not passive. It is active, alive, and moving even when you cannot see it. Every closed door was redirection, not rejection. Every delay was divine choreography, ensuring you would arrive at the right place at the right time. Beloved, this next chapter of your journey is governed by grace, not grind. You have already proven your endurance. Now heaven is proving its faithfulness. The doors opening before you will not require excessive effort, they will require discernment. Not every opportunity is divine, and not every platform is purpose. You must listen more than you look. Favor will present choices, but wisdom will choose correctly. When God endorses you, He also protects you. He will not let you enter rooms that could compromise your calling. He will close good doors to preserve great ones. It may sting for a moment, but later you will thank Him for what He withheld. Divine endorsement is not just about elevation, it is about preservation. Chosen one, as these new doors appear, remember how long you prayed for this. Don't let excitement outrun alignment. Keep the same humility that carried you through the valley. The favor you carry now is heavy. It requires balance. Influence without intimacy leads to collapse, but influence with intimacy leads to impact. You are not walking into these doors alone. Angels are already positioned ahead of you, preparing hearts, arranging details, and softening atmospheres. Conversations are being guided in your favor. Decisions are being made behind closed doors with your name attached. You don't need to network your way in. Heaven has already done the introductions. Beloved, divine endorsement doesn't always come with loud announcements. Sometimes it shows up quietly in peace that makes no sense, in timing that feels effortless, in opportunities that appear tailor-made. Learn to recognize the subtle signs of divine orchestration. The whisper of God often speaks louder than the applause of man. The coming days will reveal that what seemed random was actually rehearsed in heaven long ago. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment was aligning your timeline with divine order. You were never behind schedule. You were simply being refined for rooms that require purity over performance. When you walk through these new doors, remember that they are not destinations but assignments. Each open door is a classroom, a stage, a seedbed for influence. Some doors will lead to mentorship, others to ministry, others to multiplication. But all of them will lead to revelation about who you are and who God has always been. Do not fear the weight of what is coming. The same grace that opens doors will sustain you once inside. You will speak with authority that surprises even you. And you will find that people are drawn not to your charisma but to your conviction. That's how divine endorsement operates. It speaks before you do. Chosen one, the season of striving for acceptance has ended. You no longer need validation from the crowd. You carry authorization from the throne. Every step you take now is a signature of divine intent. When you move, heaven moves with you. Soon, testimonies will replace explanations. The doors that open will not only change your circumstances, they will confirm your calling. And through every opportunity, one truth will echo louder than ever: what God funds, He also fulfills. Chosen one. There is movement in the unseen. What felt delayed has not been denied, it was simply being rerouted. Angels have been working in silence, carrying instructions, rearranging logistics, and securing what belongs to you. You may not hear the sound of their wings, but the evidence of their work is about to become undeniable. You see, heaven's delivery system does not fail. When God assigns something to your name, it cannot be intercepted. It may take time. It may shift directions, but it always arrives. What you thought was lost was only in transit. What you thought was delayed was only being delivered in perfect condition, as the voice of God thundered in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12. From the first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them. Beloved, the delay has never been in heaven's ears, it has been in earthly alignment. From the moment you prayed, your order was placed. The angels heard the command. The response was dispatched. But spiritual traffic distraction, warfare, timing held it back until now. That barrier has been lifted. The path is clear, and delivery has been confirmed. Imagine a courier carrying a precious package through storms and darkness. Every obstacle slows the journey, but the courier never abandons it. That is what heaven has been doing for you. The angels assigned to your name have been fighting through opposition, ensuring that your portion arrives intact. You have not been forgotten, you've been prioritized. Chosen one, many of your blessings are already here, hovering in your atmosphere, waiting for your readiness to match their weight. Heaven does not deliver unprepared blessings to unprepared hearts. You've been in a season of divine setup, learning how to carry what's coming. That's why you felt tension. It's the stretching of capacity. Now, that stretching has ended. What's next is manifestation. The contracts, the confirmations, the conversations, they're all aligning. People you haven't met yet are feeling prompted to favor you. Emails will come, calls will appear, opportunities will rise as if from nowhere. But it isn't nowhere. It's from heaven's network, operating perfectly on time. The courier angels don't just bring blessings, they bring strategies. They don't only deliver answers, they deliver instructions. As you begin to receive, stay still enough to listen. Some blessings come with blueprints. God will whisper not only what to do, but how to do it. Don't rush the reception. Revelation travels with reward. Beloved, when your spirit is in sync with heaven's rhythm, everything starts to accelerate. Time bends in your favor. Delays reverse into divine speed. You will notice that what used to take years will now take months. What took months will take days, and what took days will happen instantly. This is the nature of angelic acceleration. It redeems time. There is a specific reason you're hearing this now. The atmosphere around you has reached critical alignment. Heaven is confirming delivery. The same hand that marked your beginning is now sealing your next chapter. You don't need to strive for it, you need to stand for it. Chosen one, to mark this moment in the Spirit, to signal your readiness and agreement with heaven's dispatch. Comment the number 555 below. Let it be your prophetic acknowledgement that you have entered the phase of divine fulfillment. The number 555 represents grace multiplied, grace for transition, grace for release, grace for restoration. When you comment it, do it with reverence. Don't rush through it like an online reaction. Say it like a decree: I am ready for what is already mine. You are not asking for something new. You are receiving what has been in transit. This number becomes your confirmation code, your spiritual signature of delivery. Every act of faith activates motion in the unseen. The moment you declare, heaven stamps your file delivered. The waiting ends, the flow begins. The angels move from transport to placement, positioning blessings directly into your path. Beloved, divine delivery is more than possessions, it's peace. It's not only money arriving, it's clarity. It's not only favor, it's freedom. It's God saying, I kept it safe until you were strong enough to hold it. You are now living in fulfillment mode. You no longer pray for promises, you walk in them. Every sunrise will now reveal something heaven prepared overnight. Every day, another piece of the picture will unfold. The delay has served its purpose. Now it's time for divine demonstration. Chosen one, breathe deeply and receive it. The angels have confirmed your address. The package is marked with your purpose, and heaven's tracking number reads, delivered, signed by grace. Chosen one. When everything grows quiet again, do not mistake the silence for absence. The stillness you feel now is not the end of movement, it is the final stage before manifestation. Heaven always pauses before it performs. You have entered the calm between completion and revelation, the sacred hush where God seals what he has finished. This silence is not punishment, it is protection. Noise often distracts, but quiet refines. In the absence of motion, you are invited to listen more deeply. The whisper of God becomes clearer when the world goes still. The silence that once frightened you is now your sanctuary. It is the sound of heaven holding its breath before unveiling what it has been preparing. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 37, verse 7. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. Beloved, that verse holds the secret to spiritual endurance. Stillness. The world rushes, heaven rests. When God is working on your behalf, there will be stretches of nothingness, where it seems every prayer disappears into empty air. Yet, in those quiet spaces, divine architecture is unfolding. What looks invisible to you is visible to heaven. Think of a seed buried in soil, beneath the surface. There is no sound, only transformation. The seed expands, splits, and begins to push through layers of resistance until it breaks ground. To the untrained eye, it looks like nothing is happening. But to the farmer, silence means growth. You are that seed, and this silence is your underground expansion. You have been faithful in motion. Now God is teaching you to be faithful in stillness. It's easier to obey when there's visible reward, but the real test of trust happens when nothing seems to move. Yet the silence has a voice, it's saying, hold steady. Heaven is packaging the promise. Chosen one. The greatest miracles are assembled in silence. Noah built in silence. Joseph waited in silence. Mary carried promise in silence. The absence of applause is not the absence of progress, it's the guarantee of purity. Heaven guards sacred things from public noise until they are ready to be revealed. You've grown used to movement, to signs and confirmations, to visible blessings arriving like waves. But this quiet moment, it's different. It's not regression, it's refinement. God is not removing momentum, he's refining meaning. He's checking your motives, weighing your heart, ensuring that what he gives next won't be lost to distraction. Sometimes, the silence stretches long enough to make you wonder if you misheard. But faith built on feeling would collapse under pressure. Silence teaches you to believe without evidence, to trust without signs, to know without seeing. That is the highest form of faith, the kind heaven rewards most richly. Beloved, you must learn to interpret silence as progress in disguise. When the noise stops, discernment grows. When applause fades, awareness heightens. In silence, God whispers blueprints that can't be heard in chaos. Every instruction that will sustain your next season is hidden inside this stillness. The quiet is also strategic. If God announced everything prematurely, the enemy would prepare resistance. But silence conceals strategy. Your lack of information is your protection from interference. Heaven hides your next move until it's too late for darkness to counter it. So, rest. The silence doesn't mean your prayers have expired, it means they're being executed. The processing time between prayer and promise is not delay, it's divine quality control. God is ensuring that when your blessing arrives, it's complete, not compromised. Chosen one, embrace this holy pause. Let it shape your patience and sharpen your perception. You're learning to breathe differently, to inhale peace, exhale pressure. You're learning that waiting is not wasting. The ones who rush may run ahead of God. The ones who rest will arrive with Him. This is the season where your inner life becomes richer than your outer life. The noise of ambition fades, and the melody of contentment rises. You begin to notice heaven in the small things, the way light breaks through your window, the way a single verse calms your spirit, the way peace becomes more satisfying than proof. Silence is not emptiness, it's expectancy. Every unspoken prayer still hovers in heaven's atmosphere, waiting for divine timing. The silence is the wrapping paper around answered prayer. The moment God speaks again, you'll see what He's been shaping in the dark. So, hold your peace. Do not interpret quiet as abandonment. God has not stopped working. He has simply shifted from public to private mode. The silence you feel is heaven's workshop humming behind the curtain. You will not wait in vain. The next sound you hear will not be confusion. It will be confirmation. Chosen one. Everything you endured has been divine education. Every trial, every season of scarcity, every moment of lack, it was all part of heaven's curriculum. God was not punishing you, He was preparing you. You were trusted with emptiness so that you could handle fullness with integrity. You were taught through shortage so that abundance would not corrupt you. It is a dangerous thing to receive blessing without discipline. Many desire increase, but few are ready to carry it. Prosperity without maturity becomes poison. And so, God in His mercy allowed you to taste lack, not to humiliate you, but to inoculate you. You were being immunized against pride. He used poverty as preparation for prosperity. According to what is revealed in the book of Philippians in chapter 4, verse 12, I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. Beloved, those words were written by someone who discovered the secret. You are now learning that peace is not the product of possessions. You had to learn that lesson the hard way because your calling is weighty. The wealth coming into your life will not simply sustain you, it will sustain others. But before God can trust you to pour out, He must teach you to handle what He pours in. Chosen one. The wilderness didn't break you, it built you. It dismantled your pride, reshaped your priorities, and deepened your dependence. You no longer chase validation, you chase vision. You no longer fear running out. You've learned to live from overflow even when your hands looked empty. The lesson of lack is not loss, it's leverage. You see, wealth without wisdom collapses, but wealth founded on worship endures. You are not being deprived. You are being developed. God hid abundance from you until you were stable enough to receive it. The lack was never permanent, it was protective. Heaven never wanted you to mistake provision for the provider. Beloved, Every time you survived a low season, something holy happened. You grew. You learned that God was enough even when everything else was not. You discovered that peace can live in small spaces, that joy can bloom in dry soil, that faith can breathe in tight places, and that is wealth, spiritual wealth that cannot be measured in currency. And now, the test is turning. The same faith that carried you through scarcity will now carry you through abundance. Because make no mistake, prosperity is also a test. It tests humility, generosity, and perspective. The danger of abundance is forgetting who gave it. That's why God didn't rush your release. He had to anchor your heart before he enlarged your territory. Thou chosen one, look at how far you've come. You no longer panic when bills come, because you've learned that provision always finds you. You no longer fear the unknown, because you've seen God provide in ways logic could never predict. You are calm in chaos, content in uncertainty. You are walking proof that heaven trains its chosen in paradox, teaching plenty through poverty, strength through weakness, faith through silence. Do not despise the memory of the hard years. Keep them as reminders of grace. They are your credentials. The same hunger that once humbled you will now keep you grounded when abundance comes. Remember the nights you prayed for survival. They will remind you that every increase is a miracle, not a right. Beloved, the transition from lack to abundance is not a change of circumstance. It's a change of consciousness. You no longer say, "I hope I have enough." You now declare, "I am trusted with more." The language of fear has been replaced with the vocabulary of faith. You will begin to notice that what once frightened you now excites you. Opportunities that once seemed overwhelming now look like assignments. Money that once controlled you will now serve your mission. You will manage it with divine intelligence because the lessons of lack trained you well. Chosen one, never forget heaven never wastes pain. Every shortage was sacred, every struggle strategic. You were trusted with emptiness so that fullness would not own you. Now, you can hold blessing with clean hands and pure motives. You were refined in lack so that when abundance comes, it will reveal your strength, not expose your weakness. Your future is not fragile anymore. You are fortified. You have learned to carry plenty with the same grace you carried little. That balance is rare, that's why you're chosen. Chosen one. Now that overflow has come, you must understand it is not for you alone. What heaven gives to you, it intends to move through you. The river does not drink its own water. The tree does not eat its own fruit. The lamp does not see its own light. Each exists to serve. So too are you. You have been blessed to become a blessing, funded to fuel the mission. The supply you now carry is sacred. It is heaven's currency assigned to earth's needs. Every opportunity, every open door, every resource in your possession is part of a larger design. You are a divine distributor in the kingdom's economy. God trusted you with overflow because he knows you will not waste it, you will water others. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verse 38, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured to you." This law is unbreakable. What you release returns multiplied. The more you pour, the more heaven refills. It is the rhythm of divine reciprocity. Giving keeps the flow alive. When you hold back, the current slows. When you give freely, the tide rises. Beloved, think of your life as a lighthouse on a dark coast. The beam you shine does not only guide ships, it keeps others from wrecking on the same rocks you once hit. But a lighthouse cannot glow without oil. Each act of partnership, every moment of support, keeps that flame burning for another soul still lost at sea. If this message has stirred something inside you, If the light has reached your shore, respond with gratitude. Click like as a way of saying, I see the light. Share it, because someone else still drifts in fog, and your single act could guide them home. Subscribe to stay connected to this stream of revelation, so that the next time heaven speaks, you are already tuned to the frequency of faith. And if your spirit whispers to donate, do it not from obligation, but from overflow. See it as planting seed into fertile ground, watering the very tree that has shaded you. Every contribution, small or great, becomes a spark in the chain of light. It allows the message to travel further, reach deeper, and heal hearts you may never meet. You become part of the miracle. Imagine standing at a vast riverbank. Each gift, each gesture, and each word of encouragement you offer is a pebble tossed into the current. The ripples expand far beyond sight. Somewhere, a stranger feels hope again because you cared enough to keep the current moving. That is how the kingdom circulates, through unseen acts of love. Beloved, comment below and leave a few words from your heart. Share what this message awakened in you. Your comment is not about engagement, it's about community. It's how light recognizes light. When you speak, you strengthen another who reads your words in silence. You might never know whose faith you rebuild with your testimony. Understand, this partnership is not transaction, it is transformation. You are not giving to a project, you are sowing into purpose. You are not helping a voice, you are amplifying heaven's echo. Every amen, every yes, every act of kindness adds oil to the flame that keeps this ministry burning bright across the digital wilderness. Let your generosity of spirit, of time, of resources be your worship. When you give, you say to God, I believe this light must keep shining. And heaven, in response, ensures your lamp never runs dry. The measure you use will always return, overflowing. Chosen one. The world is filled with noise messages that drain rather than fill. Yet you've found a sanctuary here, a space where heaven still speaks. If it has blessed you, nurture it. Feed what feeds you. Water what waters you. That is how the garden of faith flourishes. You are not a spectator in this story. You are a partner in it. Every time you share the message, you extend its reach. Every time you give, you sustain its life. Every time you speak, you multiply its impact. This is how revival travels now, through the hands and hearts of the chosen. So, keep the current moving, keep the light burning, keep the echo alive. You are not just a receiver of divine funding, you are a co-investor in heaven's mission. What you build with faith will outlast you. What you give in love will follow you into eternity. And one day, when you stand before the author of every story, he will show you the countless lives your single act of obedience touched. You will see that your generosity was never lost. It became the bridge between heaven and hearts. Chosen one. The time has come when words will no longer be needed to prove what God has done for you. The evidence itself will speak. Every miracle, every turnaround, every answered prayer will become visible testimony. Those who once doubted you will have to reconcile what they see with what they once said. You will not need to defend yourself. Heaven's work in your life will do the explaining. There is a unique peace that arrives when proof replaces pleading. For so long, you tried to convince others that you were chosen, that your waiting wasn't wasted. You tried to explain your process to people who could only see your pain. But now, God is unveiling the results of that hidden labor. What was cultivated in silence is about to bloom in public. The prophet Isaiah wrote it this way. Chapter 61, verse 9. Their descendants will be known among the nations. All who see them will acknowledge the Lord has blessed them. Beloved, that is your prophecy unfolding. God is preparing to display your life as a living demonstration of His faithfulness. You have been through enough to know that this is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is divine order finally manifesting. Everything that tried to bury you only served to fertilize your future. Every no you received was redirected toward a better yes. You are entering a season where your name will carry weight not because of power or fame, but because of the presence of God upon it. When people hear your story, they will feel something beyond admiration. They will feel conviction. Your transformation will become their invitation. Chosen one. Evidence is heaven's language of vindication. When God defends a person, he doesn't argue, he demonstrates, he lifts, he multiplies, he restores, and he allows your very existence to preach the sermon your mouth no longer needs to speak. This is why the last season hurt so deeply. Before God can use you as evidence, he must ensure there is no residue of pride. He must refine you until there is nothing left to boast in but grace. You are standing now as a reflection of mercy polished, not by applause, but by adversity. Beloved, understand this when evidence speaks. It silences doubt but amplifies responsibility. People will look to you not just as proof that God restores, but as a pattern for how to remain faithful through fire. Your life will teach without teaching, but it will minister without words. This is not a season for reaction, it's a season for revelation. The proof of your purpose will appear naturally. Relationships will reconcile without effort. Opportunities will call you instead of you chasing them. Resources will locate you without manipulation. The evidence will arrange itself like constellations in the sky, patterns of divine order that no human could have drawn. Think of a tree that stood through storm after storm. For years, it seemed bent and battered. But when the winds finally calmed, the tree was still standing, roots deep, branches wide, fruit abundant. That is you. You are the living proof that endurance produces fruit the world cannot imitate. You will begin to notice that people who once misunderstood you will start to observe you quietly. Some will ask questions with humility. Others will come with curiosity. You will not need to defend your faith. Your peace will do it for you. The calm that rests on your life now will become your most powerful testimony. Beloved, never forget that the evidence is not for your ego. It's for God's glory. The purpose of proof is persuasion. The world must see that faith still works, that righteousness still reigns, that obedience still opens doors no man can close. Your story is heaven's argument against disbelief. You won't need to strive to maintain the miracle either. What God establishes, he sustains. What he funds, he fulfills. The same grace that brought you this far will keep you from falling. You don't have to perform to stay blessed. You simply have to remain positioned. Soon, the very places that witnessed your struggle will witness your strength. The same voices that whispered doubt will whisper awe, not because you forced them to, but because they cannot deny what God has done. Light cannot be ignored once it fills the room. Chosen one, rest in this new reality. You are no longer waiting for signs. You are the sign. You are living evidence of divine consistency. Every scar has turned into a story, every pain into purpose, every delay into demonstration. The evidence of your overcoming will ripple beyond your lifetime. It will awaken faith in generations that follow. Let this truth settle deep in your spirit. You have become proof that heaven funds, finishes, and fulfills what it begins. You are not just the result of a promise, you are the revelation of it. Chosen one, look around you. The journey that once looked like ruin now glows with redemption. The circle is closing, not in defeat but in divine completion. You have walked through the valley and climbed the unseen mountain, and now you stand at the summit of fulfillment. The air here feels different, not thinner. but purer. You can finally breathe without fear. The struggle that once defined you has transformed into strength. You are no longer reaching for survival. You are resting in provision. This is what it means to be crowned in provision and marked for glory. The crown is not made of gold or jewels, it's made of endurance, of unseen battles won in secret, of prayers that never made it into words. It shines with quiet authority, with the kind of radiance that comes only from those who have endured darkness and refused to curse the night, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Beloved, that verse is not a metaphor for hope, it is the declaration of your arrival. Your light has come. You no longer reflect merely the promise, you emit its fulfillment. The same God who walked with you through obscurity now displays you as his living masterpiece. The process that once felt cruel now reveals its beauty. Every closed door protected you. Every delay directed you. Every loss trimmed away what could not live in your next chapter. You are entering the stage of manifestation where peace becomes your posture. You no longer chase outcomes, you carry them. The favor that flows through you now does not need introduction, it is recognized by its own fragrance. People will sense it before you speak. Circumstances will align before you ask. Heaven is not testing you anymore, it is trusting you. Chosen one. Divine funding was never only about material supply, it was about spiritual empowerment. God has financed your calling with wisdom, courage, and unshakable peace. You are sustained by something the world cannot quantify. Every step forward now is underwritten by grace. You are walking in perpetual provision. But with glory comes weight, the weight of purpose, the responsibility of example. Heaven does not crown you to make you comfortable. It crowns you to make you capable. The oil that once anointed your head now flows from your hands. You are a carrier of divine resources, peace, hope, clarity, and restoration, and everywhere you go, lack will have to bow. Beloved, the future you feared has already been secured. You don't have to predict it or control it. You only have to participate in it. Every day that comes will carry a portion of grace prepared just for you. Where others see uncertainty, you will see orchestration. You will speak, and things will align. You will move, and paths will appear. This is the lifestyle of those fully funded by heaven. You are no longer defined by what you endured, but by what you embody. The old you operated from survival. The new you operates from stewardship. The same heart that once broke is now the channel through which God's compassion flows. The same hands that once trembled in fear now heal, build, and bless. You have become the evidence of restoration, the kind that only heaven could produce. Chosen one. Look back with gratitude, not grief. Every chapter you wished away was necessary. Without them, you would not have the capacity to carry what you hold now. God's design wastes nothing. Even your missteps became material for mercy. Every scar is turned into a doorway through which others will find their healing. That is your legacy transformation through testimony. The crown you wear is invisible, but it changes everything around you. When you enter a room, atmospheres shift. When you speak, hope ignites. When you rest, heaven works. You are not striving anymore, you are reigning quietly under divine order. The kingdom within you governs everything without you. This is what it looks like when someone truly overcomes. You are not rich because of what you have, you are rich because of what you survived. You are not powerful because of your voice, you are powerful because of your silence, the stillness that carries unspoken authority. You have become a vessel of unbreakable peace. Beloved, the story is complete. The wilderness has ended. The waiting has turned to walking, and the walking has turned to reigning. You are no longer the seeker, you are the sign. You are the fulfilled word, the answered prayer, the living prophecy. The world will look upon you and see not perfection, but divine partnership. Heaven's evidence wrapped in human form. And as you step into the unfolding of tomorrow, remember this truth: the same God who funded your rise will sustain your reign. Provision is not seasonal, it is covenantal. You are marked, maintained, and multiplied by grace. Chosen one, pause for a moment and breathe in what has just been spoken over your life. You have walked through 17 thresholds of revelation, from pain to power, from lack to legacy. This is your divine graduation. The message that began as promise has now become proof. You are standing in the fulfilled rhythm of God's timing. The tests you endured have become your credentials. Heaven's funding is no longer a prophecy, it is your daily provision. You carry the covenant in your steps, your words, your very presence. Now, as you go forward, carry this awareness: you are God's evidence that faith still works. Every room you enter is territory reclaimed for light. Every conversation you have is a seed of transformation. You are no longer waiting for blessing, you are walking as the blessing. The silence has passed. The season of striving has ended. Now, you live under open heaven, guided by grace, protected by purpose, and funded by favor. You are the chosen one and you have overcome. Go forth in peace, shine without fear, walk fully funded by the hand of God.